So, I just went to the last remaining Joann's in my area. They're closing in 14 days. And I was just standing in the store, and they have like caution tape on the shelves that they're not using. I was just standing in that more empty area, and I don't know, man, something just struck me. When I was little, when I was little and I went everywhere with my mom because I was too young to stay home alone, I remember Mom would go to the Joann's and I would go with her, and I would just play in the flowers section. I would pretend that I was a fairy or something, or I would bring a little fairy toy, and I could be there for 30 minutes and just be satisfied. And I would just use my imagination and just play, and I used to do that, and that was, 10 years ago now. And as I got older, Joann's just wasn't the same, and I got older. And when I started my business, Joann's was my first stop when I was getting craft supplies. That's where I got some of my first resin molds. That's where I got patches when I was into patches. That was where I got embroidery when I briefly dabbled in embroidery. That was where I would get cosplay material for Mom to make me my cosplays, and I just seeing this store that has been around all my life just dying, a corpse, just a shallow, empty carcass, just struck me as such a devastating thing, I hate capitalism. I hate private equity firms. I hate the state of this country. Joann's is just a glimpse of a larger problem. It's just representative of the death of art, the death of freedom in a way, the freedom of choice. I don't want to have to shop online for everything. I don't want to have to go to a store that directly funds things I care about. I don't want to go to Hobby Lobby for everything. I don't want to have to go to Michael's for everything. I don't want to rely on Amazon to get my materials. I don't want to have to rely on giant big box stores like Kroger, and I don't want to have to do that. I love going to multiple places for little things. I love driving to just the little stores. I love the journey of going to places and the kids these days, they don't know about that. They don't know what it was like to, if you wanted this specific clothing article, you'd have to go to this specific clothing store. They don't know the joy of going to a mall and being able to go to your favorite places. They don't understand the small joys of going to little stores and getting little things. They don't understand. All they know is Amazon. All they know is Temu and Shein, and I recognize that I've bought things from Temu. I know that I have, and I regret it, but that was what I could afford. That was what was available to me, because everything else was unavailable. The children these days, they don't know what it was like to live in a world before private equity firms had bought everything up. And I know that I'm just 19, so I don't know what it was like in the 90s before Joann's. I don't know what it was like before Michael's and these stores. I don't remember. I wasn't there when there was small fabric shops. And now there's nothing left. What I knew was Joann's. What I knew was Michael's and Joann's and Sass Fabric in Arizona. That world is gone. That world that I knew is dead. There's nothing left. And to stand in the store that closes in 2 weeks, to see the empty shelves, to see the people who are just like me, who grew up with this store, who just know that this is our last chance. This is the dying breath of a world that is gone because capitalism stole it from us. That's just where we're at in this world. That's just where we are. And I hate it. And I know that this is just how the American economy works. I wish it wasn't like this. But this is just reality now. And I'm just gonna have to move on. And that's why I sobbed in the middle of a Joann's today.